Greetings, gods and goddesses, netters and netters. This is your netter brother slash god brother Ray. I'm here to build with y'all today on a topic that was very pressing to me, and I felt as though it was imperative for me to get this message back out to y'all and relay it to y'all as the best way that I possibly can. It's concerning anybody who is looking to spiritually or etherically elevate themselves to the next level. And just truly looking for the truth, period, when it comes to etheric oneness and the journey of etheric oneness or spirituality. Because let's not get it confused or mistake it that there is a lot of fake spiritual systems out there. There is a lot of distorted, manipulated versions of the truth out there. And if it's a distorted or manipulated version of the truth, then it is no longer the truth in its purest form, so it cannot be the truth. And this is what robs us of our power. And this is why we must look to the source whenever we are looking to find the truth. And the source comes from our lineage, our people, being as though we are direct extensions connected to the source and the source itself. The Bible, for instance, is a book of stories made up to give support to the twisted version of African truth, which was stolen from the original African text that our ancestors kept. One of those main books was widely known as the Book of the Coming Forth by Day, or better known as the Book of the Dead. And it detailed our ancestors' etheric oneness with themselves in the omniverse, and it's better described as African spirituality. And it had some of the rituals that we practiced and the way we went about doing things concerning our spirituality or etheric oneness. So Christianity and all other religions, okay, let's put it out there again, because I've said it in many other videos that I've made, and as I've learned from the many different elders who have taught me and the Babas who have taught me, Christianity and all other religions are just fragments of African spirituality, twisted, manipulated, and distorted. And that's exactly what the Caucasians have done intentionally. They have twisted and distorted the African spiritual system or the netteral etheric culture and then manipulated them to work in supporting their artificial matrix by deceiving the masses to follow this artificial etheric spiritual system, which locks you out of accessing and using your inherent etheric powers. And in turn, you hand it over to them, allowing them to use it to feed and fuel their system / matrix that they have operating today, which we also know as the artificial reality. The outline of their basic structure, or the outline of the basic structure of their system, is copied directly from our naturally organic and cosmically divine structure, which they stole from. Everything that they do, I'm not just talking spiritual systems that they stole the structure from and the foundation from to build and to mislead us and distort the truth and further misguide us away from the truth. I'm not just talking about the spiritual systems. I'm talking about everything they do. Their whole society is mimicked after our ancient ancestors in Africa. Washington, D.C. It's a giant mimic of ancient Egypt. They stole the obelisk there. Everything there is set up the same way that we had our stuff set up over there. And we were aligned with the stars. Of course, their stuff isn't aligned with the stars because they have no idea how to align with the stars, because their mathematics are far behind where we are. They are primitive, and we were advanced then, and that's why they're still studying and having archaeological sites where they're digging and trying to find out as much information on us as they can. But they stole everything from us. So the structure of their system, spiritual system, was copied directly from our naturally organic and cosmically divine structure itself. And the beginning of the book of the Bible, for instance, is called Genesis. Let's break down Genesis. If you take the root of the word Genesis, The root of that word is gene. Now, that's the beginning of their Bible. The beginning of all life in physical form starts with your genes. You know what I'm saying? So the beginning of their book of the Bible, the root of the first book of their Bible, Genesis, is gene. So that's the root word of their first word used to describe the first book of their Bible. So you got gene and then cis, or you can say break it up and spell it Genes, genes, and then is. So gene cis or genes is, you put it together and you got Genesis. That's not a coincidence. This was intentionally done. All of us know that in this third dimensional realm of existence, we are made manifest by our genes, which is encoded in our DNA. Okay? Keyword genes. So the foundation of our being in this realm is found in our genes, as is the first book of the Bible, or Genesis. No coincidence. This was done intentionally to maintain the formula for success, to power their matrix. And the key to making this seem as real as possible and not artificial was in them being able to fool the very etheric / spiritual beings from whom they stole this knowledge from. You know what I'm saying? So I had a debate in a group with a brother that tried to tell me that the Holy Bible is a translation from the words Helios, Biblios, which is true. Holy Bible was translated from the words Helios, Biblios, which means the book of the sun. Now, he told me this like I didn't know this already. And the fact that he forgot to mention is that the roots of everything from art, science, spiritual systems, anything that is started in Greek, no. Greek copied everything from us. So you're talking about some English words that was translated from some Greek words that were stolen from some African words. Okay? So the words Holy Bible were English words translated from the Greek words Helios, Biblios, which got their title from the ancient Nubian book from Africa called the Book of the Dead, better known as the Book of Coming Forth by Day. All right? Now I'm going to go back to what he said earlier. He said that Helios, Biblios means the Book of the Sun. Right. In Africa, where they got where they stole their knowledge from, our book was called the Book of Coming Forth by Day. Now, when you talk of something in relation to daytime, it is widely known that the day is associated with the sun or light, just as nighttime is associated with darkness. So the Book of Coming Forth by Day was known as a book giving or shedding light and understanding to those who read it, or that it was read or interpreted to. Writings can only give light if they are composed of those with light in them. That organic and natural divine light came from the children of the sun, who came from the darkness and brought forth that light. That is us. Okay? So when you tell me about Helios, Biblios, and Holy Bible, all you're telling me is about what y'all stole from us. So go to the source. All right? Now, knowing that all things in existence come from the eternal darkness, which we are offsprings of, connected to, and in essence are ourselves, you have to be from that darkness in order to fully, completely understand it and all that it produces, in order to shed light on it and everything that came from it, including the light, such as the stars, the sun, the planets, the moons, and all in the cosmos, in the omniverse, as one or whole. Only we can do that because we are of that darkness. Okay? We are from that darkness. We are that darkness. To be connected to something means you are part of it. That's what we are. Okay? So, you might see me using the words every now and then, 360 degrees. Most of the time, if I'm finishing a statement, you know what I mean? I finish it with 360 degrees, meaning a complete cipher followed by the word wholeness. When I finish a statement, I use that, and I also use it when I am in agreement with something that somebody else has said. I say 360 degree wholeness, or I say we are one. You know what I mean? Meaning we are whole. We are part of the whole, okay? Together. I used to use the word oneness, on a regular 360 degrees oneness, you know what I mean? Which is in essence the same thing, but it can be taken also as separation or separateness. When you say oneness, you're separating it from other things, you know what I mean? It can be used both ways. So knowing that and internalizing that alone, I have chosen to use the word wholeness, and as it is to me more a divine word that speaks to the interconnectedness and relation to all as a whole, as Einstein also noted in so many words when he used it as his basis of his theory on relativity. See, I'm speaking sciences to you right now. So I use the word wholeness now because it's a more divine word, and all things are related to the whole. And when you use words, you have to also know that there is power in those words. So when I use the word wholeness, I'm speaking power. I'm speaking it into existence. You know what I mean? I'm confirming what I already know and what we're trying to bring it back to. That's why they chose to rename the stolen book of our netero etheric culture, you know what I mean, their Holy Bible. Now I'm gonna break down the word holy. Why did they name it Holy Bible? Let's break down the word holy. They spelled it that particular way, Holy, 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 in order to throw you off. The root of the word holy is the word whole. You know what I'm saying? Meaning to be whole, complete. Because if we spell whole like we're supposed to, it's WHOLE. So whole is the root word of it, meaning to be complete. The E on the end of the word whole stands for the etheric self, being, or oneness / eternal conscious energy that we are connected to, which comprise and make up the whole. These are the sciences that I was talking to you about, that I was speaking earlier. There is symbology in everything they do, and a reason behind why they spell these words that way. We're casting spells when you spell a word. So they spell it that way to cast a spell of ignorance upon us and to lead us away from the truth versus leading us to the truth. So there's power when we use words and we spell them correctly, and when we pronunciate them in the proper tongue of our ancestors versus the tongue of our oppressors. Now, only divine star children / Africans who have the DNA of the cosmos in them, including this planet, which is part of the cosmos and connected to the whole and the eternal conscious energy that is, always was, and always will be, and is responsible for all naturally in creation, and that vibrates on a divine frequency, have that in them. Now, Yorugu are the ones in control of this artificial reality and matrix system, which we have been participating in for the past 400 or something years. They vibrate also, but they vibrate on an artificial frequency. This is why they are so out of tune with Neter or nature, because they are not of nature. They are not of Neter. This is why it's easy for them to unconsciously destroy everything in Neter or nature, such as kill animals, hunt animals for sport, and wipe them out to the point of extinction. This is why they can unconsciously pollute riverbeds and lakes and oceans with toxins from their industrialization complexes and factories. This is why they can unconsciously kill off whole races of people like the Native Americans, which they almost completely wiped out. This is why they can bomb whole cities full of men, women, children, and kill all the wildlife surrounding those cities on land and in the sea, like they did in World War II when they bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is why they can brutalize, enslave, rape, oppress, and murder hundreds of millions of Africans over centuries and walk around like nothing has happened, because they are not of Neter. They are not of nature. When you try to duplicate, mimic, and then take the place of the original as if they never existed, never made any contributions at all, then that is the true definition of spiritual wickedness in high places. And they are the artificial ones trying to override the main eternal conscious energy, which they cannot do. That's why we are still here to this day, no matter what they've tried to do to us. And that's why you are here getting this awakening right now. Nothing that is a part of or is in balance with nature works to destroy nature, or works to destroy the nature that it is a part of. Nothing in balance with it does that. They are parasites to this planet and to all in existence. And only that which is parasitic is known to attempt to destroy its host. Okay? Destroy the planet they live on. Destroy the people that power their matrix. Because without us, they are nothing. Okay? They've even almost killed off all of the bees to the point of extinction because of the artificial world and reality that they are trying to build on this planet. Even the foods that we eat now, we can't even tell whether they are truly organic or genetically modified / GMO. So how can we trust them? We can't. We cannot. That's why we got to stop eating meats and stuff like that. See, we were not intended to eat flesh. Our bodies were not made to consume other flesh. You got to think about that when you're eating the skin of a chicken. It's like eating the skin off of something that was alive, because that's what you really are doing. We don't look at it in those terms because we have been so conditioned to look at it as just food. But we weren't supposed to eat other living beings, you know what I mean, other mammals and stuff like that. What we were intended to eat was fruits, vegetation, nuts, berries, stuff like that, plant life, things that vibrate on a frequency that charges our eternal selves, empowers these third dimensional bodies that are the temples to our source selves. When they are eaten, what a lot of people don't realize when they are eating meat, first of all, once something dies, it starts to decay immediately. Now, you can put in preservatives, as they put in a lot of meat and stuff like that, to hold its looks for a good while until it can be consumed or has to be discarded because it wasn't bought off the shelves and then purchased for consumption by the expiration date that the preservatives were supposed to hold it until. But whether those preservatives are in there or not, you were eating cancer. We all have some type of cancer in us or whatever, trying to eat away at our bodies constantly. The reason why it doesn't fully take over the majority of us is because we are constantly producing the cells needed to strengthen our immune system and fight off these diseases, antibodies, and cancerous cells and stuff like that our body produces. Once you are dead, you are no longer producing these healthy cells to fight off this cancer. So once you are dead, the cancer starts to consume and take over your body. Hence, you have the body decaying, eating away at itself and deteriorating. That's nothing but cancer, okay? So when you are eating meat, dead meat, when you're purchasing that meat, that flesh in stores for consumption, you are purchasing something that has a great deal of cancer in it, okay? When you're eating dead flesh, you are eating cancer. And we must be knowledgeable of this when it comes to determining what we are going to feed ourselves and our families. So when we are consuming anything into our bodies or intaking anything into our bodies, be it physically, mentally, or etherically, we must make sure that its energy is consistent with that is pro-life. And the only way to do that is to go to the source, which is already in you. And also left behind on the ancient scripts, scrolls, carvings, and writings on pyramid walls, temple walls, halls, etc., left by our ancestors in Africa. Don't refer to a fragment of the truth that has been watered down, distorted, and manipulated to further enslave you, oppress you, and imprison you in your netheril powers while enabling them to use it to benefit their matrix and artificial reality. They have no power without you consenting to give them your power by participating in their matrix and artificial reality. Your ancestors are the source. So search for the truth through your lineage and not anyone else's. Because the further you get away from the source, the further you get away from the truth. The further you are away from the truth, the further you are away from the source. You will know it when you hear it or when you come across it, because it will reverberate in your soul, because it is in the genes that make up your DNA in your etheric and physical body. This is your netter brother / God brother PowRA. 360 degrees of wholeness, perfection, and power.